Hi, this is Bill Hintz from EandM. Today I'd like to show a couple little tips and tricks, things that will make your life easier when you're using Siemens TIA automation software. This is version 16 of TIA. I've got a little 1200 in this project, but what we're going to show today would work with pretty much any controller that you would pick, and you can pick 1200s, 1500s, some of the legacy controllers, distributed controllers, all that stuff. But all these things that we're showing today are just kind of enabled in all of the different PLCs. So I'm going to do a little ladder logic here, just for an example. So let's do a little motor start circuit. I'll put a start button, a stop button, a enable coil, and then we'll seal the circuit here. So this is some simple logic. We see a bunch of question marks because we don't have defined tags for those individual components. If I just go ahead and type in some names here, let's say start motor 1 and enable motor 1, stop and motor 1. And the sealing circuit uses the same tag. So we can individually go through here and right click and then define all the tags. A little tip is that if you go up to the network on a network that has several tags in it that are not defined yet, and go define tag, then we can actually see that it gives us the opportunity to define them all at once, and it'll just pick the first available addresses. We can do M bits or inputs, outputs, temporaries, all those different types. I'm going to go ahead and hit define. So now we've got some simple ladder logic that we could actually test and make sure it was working for us. Now let me show you the same thing in a function block. And a function block, for those not familiar with Siemens, is just a kind of a subroutine with pass parameters to it that has an instance data block along with it for any static stuff for just that call. Let's say motor circuit, whatever we want to call it. So I could do the same thing there, or I'll just go back here and be lazy and right click, copy that logic, and put it in, paste it in here. Get rid of that guy. So we've got all of these hard-coded tags that are actually from our original call. If I look at up above in a function block, we're going to have, this is where we define pass parameters to come into the actual call of this logic. So I could go in here and define a bunch of tags if I want, or we can do the same thing we did before, and I can just say start and enable and stop and motor. Oops. Don't want to use an already defined tag. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, want to be difficult? We'll call you something else. Contactor. How about that? So once again, we can do the same thing with individual tags, or do our trick and define all the tags at once. And now we have this local temp, we have a few more options in what type of tags we're going to use. And we want to use these local ones. These are coming from the declaration table. So start's going to be a local in, and enable is a local in, And the contactor is going, since it's being read and written to, we're going to call that a local in-out. And the stop is going to be a local in as well. Define that. So now I can use the same logic here, but then now I can reuse it. I can call that circuit several times. So let's get rid of this guy in OB1 and just call this subroutine. So we'll call this motor 1. And we can put our tags in there. The ones that we did originally for start. When you click on this little area here, it shows you all the tags. Also, if I were just to type the first letter, it's going to actually take me to that tag. So if I on this one I just hit the S, it'll just show me the tags that start with S. And this is the stop. And we'll call this motor 1. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate this. I'm not even hooked up to a PLC right now, but I can actually simulate it. Allow us to test our code. And I'll download that. And we'll start her up. So now we can actually look in here at the actual program as it's running. And if you look at an individual tag here and right click on it, I can go to modify to 0 or 1 to turn it on or off. A little tip or trick here, if I just double click on that, and I don't want to show this pop-up anymore, I can actually just turn it on and off by double clicking. So let's enable the block and then start the motor, and we see everything came on and it's true. Now if we want to see the logic of an individual call of a function block, we just double click on the block itself and it'll bring us up to that logic. I'll go up here and split my screen so I can actually see the call and the actual logic running. Now look, we're getting a little bit cluttered here because we have all these, the project tree and the instruction list. I can actually, just by double clicking up on the main bar up above, expand just my logic right now. So if I click on my eyes, I can see that I don't need that. The circuit has sealed itself, so now if I hit E-stop, it turns it off. And we can look at our code here, turn things on and off, see how things are working. So, just a couple little quick tips and tricks for making your life easier with TIA Portal. Once again, this is Bill Hintz from EandM. Thanks.